democracies. 17 years after the end of World War II and the re-establishment of liberal democracies in the countries of Western Europe, no one still talked about new democracies, especially because neither they nor we were new democracies, but rather restored democracies. Nor are we, having achieved or surpassed the economic levels of countries today that were in the EU and NATO back when we were still captive nations with command economies, and nor are we, as a result, transitional economies. These terms are outdated and should be scrapped, at least when we talk about Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. This is all the more true because looking at the broader U.S.-European, that is to say, the transatlantic relationship today, then it is clear that the Baltic countries are among the most committed allies in the NATO alliance. We are soldiering in Iraq, and in the Estonian case, also in the most dangerous part of Afghanistan, Helmand province. We are in Kosovo, and we are in Bosnia-Herzegovina. We may be small, but looking at our populations and what our representation is in those front lines defending freedom and fighting against terrorism today, we punch way above our weight. But why is that? Why are we there? Why are we doing those things? Could be a lot easier just to say, well, that's an American thing. Well, for me, it is clear. We do what we do because we share those core values of liberty, freedom of speech and expression, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. We know that policies of convenience, of expedience, and turning a blind eye to a lack of democracy, to the mere appearance of rule of law, to ignore disregard for human rights, led among the countries of the West to follow policies that led to the loss of our independence 68 years ago, which is why we know, we Estonians, Latvians, Lithuanians, and Americans know that we cannot let that happen. We know, we truly know, and you all know here because of what you have gone through, that a valueless foreign policy that looks for good deals and ignores deficits in liberty and democracy will achieve nothing and will remain a threat to our own values. That is why the Baltic countries stood firm in supporting the Membership Action Plan for Ukraine and Georgia at the NATO summit in Bucharest at the beginning of this month. And this is why, within the European Union, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are the strongest supporters, and in fact often the spearheads, of a vigorous neighborhood policy within the European Union.
Lithuania has not recognized Kosovo yet. Shame on Lithuania!
Well, I can only speak for Estonia tonight. Today, we in the Baltic countries, as in the United States, know that liberty and democracy and the prosperity that stems from liberty and democracy cannot, may not be taken for granted. Wealth for foreign policy ends recalls a long-gone mercantile era, for which we have yet attempt to find an adequate intellectual framework or a policy response. Something which I would leave to someone who wasn't mentioned earlier here before, but Assistant Secretary Kurt Volker, who's one of the people who, in fact, I hope will come up with the proper intellectual response. Terrorism, the spread of anti-Western ideologies with respect neither for human rights nor the rule of law remain a challenge for all of us who consider ourselves Western democracies. And I fear it will remain so. This will remain so for a long time. These are our new challenges. Our, meaning Estonian, Latvian, Lithuanian, and American challenges. Today, with the Baltic countries' independence restored, with our commitment to democracy and defense of liberty and rule of law at the core of our being, I am proud that our four countries, small and large, stand together in NATO and throughout the world. For us, that's no small accomplishment. So once again, I'd like to thank you for this award. Thank you, U.S. Baltic Foundation. Paldies, ačiū, suur aitäh.
President Ilves, thank you for your vision and for your inspiration. Thank you. Well, we are about to close, but the party continues on the other side of the hall. And I apologize, but there's one other individual besides Mr. Volker that we should recognize, and that's Bob Gilchrist, the Director of Nordic and the Baltic at the State Department. A lot of luminaries here tonight. Now, don't tell me that this is the most important point, but judging by the way you responded when we started looking at the blues, the yellows, and the greens, here's the winning combinations. Those with the yellows get the DVD. Those with the blue get the book. And those with the green get the flowers. Now, while you're all battling for these